Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. Is GameStop ripping you off? Are car dealerships ripping you off? The former perhaps, the latter absolutely. Let's talk about it. All right guys, the other day I was at GameStop. Stopped by to pick up Super Mario Wonder, the most recent game in the Super Mario Brothers series, the awesome 2D, excellent game for my son. He wanted that for Christmas. Glad to oblige. Santa did his job. Now when I went to GameStop to pick it up, this was pure convenience. I was out running some errands, popped into GameStop, grabbed Super Mario Wonder. Not a big deal, right? It kind of was. As I was checking out, the GameStop employee rang up the warranty, the little $3.99 warranty they mentioned tacking onto games in case your disc gets scratched or something like that. There's a little warranty they charge. Now, in the past, they've always asked me if I want this, and then I always say no, of course. And but this time, they went ahead and rang it up and had it on the receipt and then mentioned it. Now I didn't pay for it, the full price, because I know what I was buying. It was $60 plus tax. I'm not gonna pay $70, I'm gonna pay closer to $64, $65. But they put it on there. Now they told me he put it on there, and but they just tacked it on and said, here's what it is with blah, 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 kind of talking quickly. And I guarantee you, there are a lot of parents, casual gamers, people that rarely shop for games, people buying gifts that fall for this, maybe more often than not, or at least frequently, because they talk quickly, boom, it's on your receipt, doesn't seem like a big deal. A lot of people are just, maybe they're in a hurry to buy Christmas presents or whatever, and they just go very quickly or not paying that close of attention, boom, they bought it. I did not, of course. I did not pay the $3.99 warranty. I don't think video games really need a warranty. I think over time, especially if you buy a lot of games, you'll be wasting a lot of money. If you want to buy warranties for your games, go for it. But the way GameStop this is the first time they've ever done that. I've been shopping at GameStop for many years, but not as much as I used to, but they have never done this before, where they put it on the receipt and tell you the complete price with the warranty, and like they're gonna just expect you to go ahead and do that. Super Mario Wonder with your warranty and with tax, that's $70 or whatever. And then I said, no, I don't want the warranty, and he subtracted it. Now, this was new to me, and I got online and Googled this to see if this had happened to other people. And of course it had. I got on a Reddit thread, and as far back as 2021, this had happened to some people frequently, and it happened to some people without telling them. They rung up their entire purchase and just said the amount, and it was $20 more than the person was expecting. And I said, wait a minute, why is it so much? And then they discovered why. So that's even more shady than just adding it and telling you the itemized transaction, telling you, for the game, the warranty and the tax. It's much more shady to just give you the total, boom. And I guarantee you, a lot of people that aren't paying attention are gonna fall for that. So shame on you, GameStop. That's not a good practice. GameStop has a kind of a history of missteps, like overselling their GameStop Pro memberships, forcing that too much on people, just sort of, I've heard stories of just really trying to pressure customers into it, not as a friendly, hey, do you want this, but more of a pressurized situation, not being able to tell, repros from, original games and on and on. But anyway, this is the latest beef with GameStop that I have. This had never happened to me before, but it happened to me when I was buying Super Mario Wonder, a great game for my son for Christmas, but I did not fall for it because I've been at this. I was shopping at Funko Land back in the 90s, so they're not gonna get one over on me like this. Now, if you wanna buy a warranty for your games, knock yourself out, but they need to be up front and ask you and not put it on your receipt. And they certainly need to tell you about it. All right, guys. This reminded me of car shopping over the years. Had some very shady situations buying cars, new cars and used cars. Most recently, I got a new Trailblazer, and I was determined going in to only pay tax, title, and license. Now, if you're buying a new car and you want a warranty, extended warranty or whatever, knock yourself out. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I don't do it. I've heard it's better not to. You know, it's if you're just playing the odds or talking about, you know, probability, it's better not to buy an extended warranty. But if you feel like you need to do that, go for it. But what these car companies, these auto dealerships are doing are tacking on these unnecessary fees. And I kept telling our salesman, I'm only paying for tax, title, and license. That's all I'm paying for. And I was looking at the paperwork, and there was about $2,000 of extra stuff on there. And I don't even remember what they were calling all this stuff, some kind of jibber jabber. But I'll get more specific with some other cars I bought previously and tell you exactly the bogus charges they were in just a moment here. But for my own car, and I just told him, and he was telling me that, well, you need this for this, you need this for this. And he was pretty much kind of telling me, not quite that I have to, but it was sort of along that ballpark. You have to have this to buy this car. It was real close to that. And I was like, no, I'm only paying tax, title, and license, or I am leaving. Daisy's getting a little restless, so put her down. The reason I didn't just walk out altogether is because I'd been looking for this car for a long time, for several months, and I desperately needed a new car because mine had 200,000 miles and was falling apart and making a super loud knocking noise, and I didn't want to spend any money on it. In this particular, I wanted a new black Trailblazer, and I'd been looking for a long time, for several months, and the last few weeks specifically, as my car I was driving was getting worse and worse. And I was insistent. I was very firm. Tax, title, and license only, and I want a full tank of gas too. And they cleaned the car. But yeah, so I didn't fall for that. But let me tell you two specific instances of buying cars previously where they specifically tried to sneak one in, some extra expenses that I know a lot of people fall for. I bet more than half the time, maybe 60-70% of people, when they go to buy a new car and these dealerships tack on these bogus expenses, I just kind of assume that a lot of people fall for this. Here's one example. We were in the market or my son was in the market for a newish used car, a very nice one, but a used car, you know, to save money and everything. And we looked at several. He bought it, but we were just sort of, you know, going along, my wife and I, to just help him look. And when it came to the paperwork and everything, just to be there, moral support and everything. Very cool. Happy to help. But when we got down to it, so this was a used car in very nice condition, and it had a sticker price on it, and we were willing to pay that sticker price. Nowadays, you can't really haggle at car dealerships like you used to, at least at most of them. In the old days, before the internet and before you could just immediately find out online what cars were worth, you could sort of haggle, and some places would have drastically different prices than others. It's more homogenized now. You can pretty much expect what to pay when you're going in. Anyway, this was a good deal on a very good used car. Very happy with this car. But when it came time to sit down and do the paperwork, there was tax, title, license, and something called a refurbishing fee for $700, a $700 refurbishing fee on a used car. And I was like, nuh-uh. When I saw the car, when we test drove the car, it was X amount of dollars, and that's what the sticker price was on the parking lot in that condition. It had already been cleaned up. It was already in nice condition. That's what we were paying. We weren't going to suddenly pay $700 refurbishing fee, and I guarantee you a lot of people would have just gone ahead and paid that. Well, that makes sense. You know, the car's in nice shape. It's a used car and refurbishing fee. And you know, is that crooked? Not necessarily crooked. Is it unethical? I don't know. I'm not going to make those judgments. I'm just going to say it reeks of those things. It reeks of not quite a scam, because they are telling you what it is, but it is a little shady in my opinion. But needless to say, we did not pay for that refurbishing fee because the car was like it was when it had the sticker price on it, and there was no mention of refurbishing fee while we were test driving or anything like that. It was refurbished, I suppose, because it had a few years on it and a few miles. It was in very nice condition. Regardless, I wasn't going to pay that, so we only paid, when it came down to it, tax, title, and license, or my son only paid that, I should say. Now, previously, before that, when I was buying my, new car for our family years ago, we got down to it. We'd test driven the car, we'd agreed, we liked the price, et cetera, et cetera. They agreed to clean the car, put a new tank of gas, and all this kind of stuff. And we get down to pay tax, title, license, and a $300 for the tinted windows. Now, when we looked at the car, when we test drove the car, when we saw the car on the parking lot at the sales, area, it already had tinted windows. It already had tinted windows. This was the car we were buying with tinted windows. Now, if they would have said, do you want tinted windows? It'll be $300 extra. That's one thing. But they tried to charge $300 for tinted windows there at the end. And he was like, well, the windows are tinted and we tinted them. And I was like, sorry, I'm not falling for that one. And I even told him, I remember I will sit down with the salesman and said, look, going into this, I'm only paying tax, title, and license. I'm not going to pay for anything else tacked on, but they will still try to tack things on, and that's how they do it, and I get it. It's basically free money. When you can sell a warranty or a refurbishing fee or whatever, or sell something that's already part of the car, like a tinted windows package. I remember one thing with my recent car, with my new car I bought that I mentioned, couldn't remember any of the specifics, but they did say something about a regional something fee that had to do with something with the heat in Texas or something. I don't remember, but it was just ridiculous. Needless to say, I only pay tax, title, and license. Now, if you want to upgrade your car, if they say, hey, do you want dual exhaust on this, or tinted windows, or do you want the option with leather seats, that's different. I'm talking about a car that already has the price on it, that already has all the cool features on it or whatever. That's the car you're getting for that sticker price. You should only pay tax, title, and license unless you want to buy the extended warranty, which I kind of would recommend you not, because I hear from experts that playing the odds, that's not a good move. But regardless, some people probably have benefited from having an extended warranty. I'm sure they have. But I would not recommend that. But the main thing is, bottom line it, when you're at a car dealership, only pay tax, title, and license unless you do want some extras that are in addition to what you're already buying. Don't fall for these bogus fees. When you sit down and suddenly new fees appear, tax, title, and license, if there's anything beyond that just suddenly appear out of nowhere, it's probably something they're padding. Something the manager tells the salesman to do, maybe something the salesman comes up so they'll get more commission. Regardless, it's a tacked on fee, it's an add-on fee, and it's kind of shady. It's kind of shady. Anyway, so when you're going into GameStop, when you're going in to buy a new car at a car dealership, whether it's a new car or used car, know what you're doing, plan ahead, and don't fall for these bogus fees. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. That is awesome. I hope you save some money. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever been gypped or ripped off at GameStop, or just seen shady practices when buying a car? What have you seen? Have you had any bad experiences when you're purchasing an automobile? Have you seen any tacked on fees or anything like that? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much, guys. We will talk to you in another video.
It's me, Mario! Here we go!